Welcome to Birch Tree Studios, the home of 1013 Publications. This is 40 Below Zero, an international show about chronic illness hosted by two guys with MS. I'm your co-host Nick, and with me as always is Terry. We're so glad all of our warriors and supporters are here with us, so let's get into it.
Mark, what's going on, man?
Oh, you know.
Hey Mark, how's it going?
Good.
Mark,
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
we can hear you. Mark, this is Nick. You met Nick before, right? You're
Hi,
part of
Nick.
the community. Yeah, okay, cool.
Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
So obviously Mark Embla has MS.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure there's other issues going on, but we know him from the community. He's family. I hope he's okay with me saying that. And if you are okay with me saying that, Mark, I forgot to ask you for $5. If you got $5 for me.
No, I can't donate to the MS Society today. I'm too poor.
Awesome, bro.
I love it when I get phone calls from the disabled law enforcement foundations that are like scams and they're fakes. And they're like, oh, if you donate today, I'm like, wait a minute, donate. How about if I get some of that money? And then they hang up right away.
Nice.
In the past, I did that too. I'm like, by the way, sure, but I'm also collecting money for the MS Society, but I never was, And they're like, oh, well, we can't do that. I'm like, yeah, scam.
So Mark, where are you coming to us from in the world?
I'm from Lethbridge, Alberta, which is in Canada.
Alberta. Can't say I've ever been. How about you, Terry?
I have not. No, I've never been to that part of Canada. Always
What's
the east.
Out west,
Out west.
Mhm.
Okay.
very prairie, lots of long roads.
Okay. So how is the question that immediately pops to mind is how is the healthcare services way out west in Canada? Do you have access or is it hard to get help?
It seems to be not as good as out east. We're a lot more conservative over here, and they don't really mesh well with health services.
Well, that's a shame. I feel very spoiled. I am in an area where if I drive an hour in any one direction, I'll hit 5 hospitals that could help me. I'm
Oh,
spoiled.
nice.
Yeah, I'm spoiled.
Where are you from?
East Coast, United States, southeast Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So let's talk about your story if you're willing to share.
Well, it all starts with me being 3 months premature and then getting some medication that caused scoliosis.
Mm-hmm.
And so trying to grow up that way wasn't really great, but I ended up with 2 spine surgeries in a short amount of time. One because I got the surgery, and then two because I got into a car accident which broke the rod of my back.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm coming at you with a fixed up metal back.
That I'm sure doesn't hurt at all ever, right?
Every winter.
Oh, oh no. How long is winter in Alberta?
Oh, geez, it's long.
Is that every day?
No.
Oh,
We
okay.
have summer too.
Good.
You knew that, right? That they had summer? Just making sure. I'm
Well-
just curious, not making fun.
No, summer is a relative. So what's summer? How warm does it get in Alberta for summer?
Nick, I don't live in an igloo.
No, they have summers. They have summers. They have like good summers.
We
Okay.
have really hot summers. Yeah.
I'm unfortunately showing my ignorance in geography
No, it's
and
okay.
climate.
Bro, I don't know
That's
anything about Alberta, so don't even start. I think Alberta, and I might be wrong, but I might be totally wrong, and I hope no one
You're
makes
wrong
fun of me for
already.
this. But might have more oil in the world than any other place. I think I've heard that before. I'm pretty sure if Mark knows that, he'll back me up, or he'll just say, I don't know.
One of my favorite pictures is the American flag over the United States, and then they just stick Alberta in there too in the thing. because America really wants our oil and
Oh
we
yeah.
have too much of it.
Dude, and I heard they don't
Fantastic.
even use their own oil. They buy someone's oil because it's cheaper that way.
Who,
Yeah,
us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's all about money
Yeah,
for
man.
sure. For that.
Dude, Mark, you know how people say to me, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you have MS. Oh, you have MS." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, I know I have MS, but I've conquered it. My anxiety is really debilitating, dude. My anxiety makes me overthink. Sometimes I can't sleep. So when I talk to you, I'm always like, "Oh, this guy has MS." I know you, right? Because you and I we're friends. I hope family, whatever.
We're
But
friends, you know.
yeah, I just I'm like, man, this guy has other issues other than MS, but everyone is just like, it's all about the MS to him, you know. But like, I didn't know. He did tell me once that he had scoliosis, but I didn't know really it was from childhood, from wrong medication, and
Yep.
I so ignorant to that. I didn't know
So
you can get it from that.
I know you know what this is, Terry, but scoliosis is a curvature of the spine,
Mhm.
and the surgery is to put rods on either side of it in order to straighten it out. If you're above 51%, then you get the rods in. If you're below 51%, then it probably won't affect you day to day. But if you, yeah, yeah.
It makes
Okay.
sense because I knew someone that kept saying I have scoliosis, but never did the procedure. I didn't know there was a procedure, so it must have been below the 51%.
There we go.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, no, my whole thing right now is having a mess. It's like the shtick at some point. But at the end of the day, I need to keep on top of it.
Yeah, bro, that's gotta be. Ooh, I can't even imagine. What do you do? Do you take any? Are you on any DMTs or what are you doing?
I'm doing Kesimpta.
Oh, Kesimpta, how's that going for you?
It's going good for me, but it apparently stops causing issues after a year, and I'm not there yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna be there in February or so.
Yeah, I'm on. I think what am I at now? My fifth or sixth different DMT. A bunch of them didn't work, and then I almost got really sick for one of them. So fun game of playing spin the wheel of medicine, right?
How did
Yeah.
they not work? Um, if you don't mind me asking.
No, not at all. They were ineffective. There was new lesions, both in severity and number, after consecutive MRIs. So they didn't do anything.
Are we talking your spine or your brain?
Both actually, mostly the brain.
Okay.
Yep. Left hemisphere, predominantly left hemisphere, but my optic neuritis is at the apex of my optic nerve. So pick an eye and it randomly stops working. So
Oh, geez. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Mark, did you ever get optic neuritis?
No, I haven't, thankfully.
Oh, thankfully, but you have everything else.
Well, yeah, I think I have a spine lesion, but I need to get an MRI to figure that out.
Mm.
Do you have an MRI booked? Just curious.
I have an MRI for my brain booked in late September.
One question with that, how long did it take for you to get an MRI? Because here in Ontario, it takes like a year sometimes.
It's a year. Yep.
Wow. Wow.
The MS Society only spends like a little bit of time with you every year, it seems, around here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How long does it take for you to get an MRI if you're
Me?
waiting? Yeah.
Uh, because of my rapport with my neurologist, I can probably get one within 30 days.
Ooh, your report with your neurologist.
Well, I've had to say one pretty much the entire time for my diagnosis, so he knows my story and he knows when I'm not feeling right. I can message him and say, "Hey, something's off," and he goes, "Okay, what do you want to do?"
I say that because over here, I don't even think if he's your best friend, he can get it that soon. That's what I mean. Like, ooh,
Well, here's the question: how many
yeah.
facilities near both of you have the capability to do that?
Oh yeah, two.
Two. Okay, Terry.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
3. Yeah. How many do you have?
Again,
Yeah,
Uh,
that's right. Every 10 minutes.
7,
Yeah.
9. I don't know. There's a lot.
Okay.
Well, see, we have dedicated imaging centers. So they don't do anything but MRIs, CT scans, and X-rays. So they're hustling people out the door all day long.
Sometimes private healthcare is so much better, man.
Yeah, but that bill comes.
But here's the negative with ours is, oh, my father needs to get, I'm just using that as an example. I don't, my father needs to get a scan, a CAT scan or an MRI because he has an issue. It
Mhm.
takes him a year. By the time a year comes around, that issue has spread and he's dead. And that happens a lot. And they're like, damn, I would have paid for it. Why did I have to wait? And yeah, I know it's free, but
Yeah, that's crazy. That's I don't know. It
that's
doesn't
one of the
sit right.
complaints. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. But it's free.
What do you do? What do you do to keep yourself occupied, Mark? Obviously, it's not sit around and think about your MS like us.
I tinker with computers a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So, MS has caused my fingers to not quite work right on flat screens. So if I'm using a touch screen, I always hit the letter beside it.
Hmm.
And that's when I notice like I'm having a flare up usually.
Okay.
I'm really thankful for it. But I really like computers. So it's a detriment when it comes to typing on a flat screen. And, you know,
Sure.
that's all you got. I was thinking of switching to BlackBerry in order to have like keys to hit to text. But that's a lot of money.
There are, including my wife, there are a lot of people out there that preferred to have a tactile keyboard with their
Yeah.
phone. A lot of people did. And it just vanished when iPhone showed up. Like phones used to be really cool.
I use swipe text. I don't even text. I use the swipe. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I need to use swipe to text at all. Like if I really want to.
Because I can't. It's my, and I always say, sorry, I got fat fingers, but I don't. But I mean, so the swipe is what I do. And I didn't even know they make Blackberries still. The whole, because that'd be so much better for me too, I think.
They have a touchscreen one.
Oh, it's touchscreen.
It's like $500. It's expensive.
I miss the Nextels. I miss the chirping.
Yep.
That was the best. Because it was short to the point.
Cell phones. We wanted them to be so small and then they got bigger again.
Yep.
And then flip phones came back. Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's not really hitting.
I just looked at that. This one, the one that opens like a book.
Yeah.
$2,000. Are you kidding me? What is it?
Yeah.
What does it do?
2000 American.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I don't know why, but I always thought Alberta was the closest part in Canada to be American. I don't know why, but as soon as you said,
It is.
as soon as you said that whole American thing, and they had an Alberta, I don't know what you said, flag or something. I don't know.
Alberta was stuck on top of America,
Yeah.
and it was all the American flag.
So it's not just me that like associates Alberta with the States. Cool.
Nope.
Okay.
You're
All right.
as close to Texas as you can get without being in Texas.
Do you guys try to separate from us? Is there ever that issue? I'm just curious, like Quebec.
That is definitely just like Quebec. Yeah, that is definitely a.
I'm learning stuff today, man.
No,
all
man.
right.
No, nepotism is right.
All right. Well, Nick, you can take him.
Well, I'll tell you this. Every so many years, I think it's like 6 or 8 years, there's a referendum that shows up in the Texas legislature to secede from the United States. Still,
Really?
it's like every so often it comes up for the breakaway. They're not on our. It's crazy because they're not even on our power grid. Texas has its own power grid. They separated completely from the United States. Then it backfired.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yep, their grid went down. Their grid went down, and the whole country had power except for Texas.
I don't know what to say.
Man, this is definitely an off-topic show. I love it because we get so bogged down about talking about all the MS things, but I mean, it's the most prevalent in our lives. Obviously, it rules every day, which is just a shame. How long have you been diagnosed, Mark?
I've been diagnosed for about 4 years.
4 years?
I started noticing the texting issue in 2018.
Wow. That was the first symptom?
Yeah, the job was causing stress, which led me to not be able to text correctly on a screen, which led me to get new glasses, but that wasn't really solving anything. And they did an MRI to see what was up. Found MS.
I was very similar. I was sitting at a computer typing, and my eye went fuzzy, and that led to the diagnosis. And then,
Oh yeah.
did you separate from your employment because of it, like I did?
No, not really.
Okay.
I separated just because of new management, and I wanted to go to work in distillery. Or no, sorry. Oh, what's the word for selling weed?
Dispensary.
Dispensary. Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
Dispensary, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I didn't quite make it there yet, so I'm still on my life journey.
Working on becoming a bud tender.
That's what it is. Yeah,
I wish, yeah.
yeah. Not in Alberta, man. Come over here to Ontario, man.
No, yeah, no, you guys have been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Or down here in PA. It'll probably be fully legal in about 5 years. I found out two things to be true. Well, maybe a couple, maybe more than two. It only will become legal when there's enough big money behind it, when they know how to tax it, and when they know how to regulate the quality of it. And they have two of them. They know how to regulate it, and they can't tax it. Well, they can tax it in PA because it's legal, but they need to put federal tax on it. So that's when it'll be fully legal.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, man. It's a long road ahead. Even where it is here, there's a good and bad. I'm not going to get into it because I'm sure, like, it's I don't even know what to say about that.
Can you grow up there?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I know
Plants.
You can do 4 plants?
You can do 4 plants.
I don't know, man. Is that federally? Is that provincially?
Yeah.
I know 15 years ago,
Federally.
I knew that federally it was illegal. Provincially it was legal. You as long as you got an exempt. Do you remember that? I forget the paper now. FFPR, dude. There was so many different lingos that I forgot about 15 years ago because everything's changed now. Now it's legal. I remember you can get someone to grow plants for you in their backyard as long as it's medically and you got exempted. There was different. I never even took the chance.
Yeah, no. I don't know.
Dispensaries were the way, which was still illegal. So if you went to a dispensary, they could still rate it and you were in it. So if they rated it and you were in it, chances are they're like, get out of here, walk away. We want the people that own the facility. Are we getting into a different topic? We shouldn't.
We always do. We always do, Terry. It's totally fine.
So, yeah, MS. Interesting. What does your lesions look like? Are they also white? Are lesions white? I don't know. Did they come out white in the MRI, right?
Yeah.
The ink, whatever the stuff is they inject you with.
Gadolinium.
What?
Gadolinium.
That's the contrast name?
It's a radioactive compound.
Wow. You trying to make me feel stupid?
No, I'm answering your question.
What is it? What is it called again?
Gadolinium.
Okay. All right.
It's radioactive. It's low level radiation.
You can spell that, right?
THAT.
I'm so glad there's no video of this podcast. See that stupid face I gave.
Oh.
So you're on Kesimpta. That's an injection once a month.
Yep.
And you get that injection a week before? Like
I get it mailed to me, usually a week before.
That would give me anxiety.
It does. It gives me anxiety too.
And does it get like purelated to your home?
Yep, Burlater brings it to me.
So you have to be ready for it at home, make sure you don't miss it. Oh my God. I can't deal with that.
Uh, he almost walked away. Like he knocked on the door and I didn't answer it. And so he knocked on it one more time when he was writing a note. And then I came out and he gave me the package. So it was okay.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I,
If you forget the date,
Not
I,
cool, man.
I feel like there needs to be a better system. Delivering medicine is way more important than anything else that arrives in that manner. I think there needs to be like a backup pharmacy system where, like, if you know that if you miss it, because I missed the shipment, actually, FedEx didn't deliver because they couldn't find my address. And I don't know how that happened, but when you're dealing with time sensitive medication, it should just go to the nearest pharmacy.
They should have different
um,
packaging. Yeah.
I wouldn't like that though. I like it delivered to my house.
Oh no, I mean
But
if
it,
you miss it, if you just miss it, like if that
you
happens
know,
as a
delivered
backup.
to the pharmacy.
Mhm.
But it comes from a pharmacy anyway. The
Yeah,
original shippers are
which is crazy.
BioScript. Yep.
How are you emotion wise? Because I know me, people see this and they're like, oh, he's a funny guy. How do you stay all positive all the time? But no one sees what I always say behind closed doors. How are
Right.
you? Are you like,
Oh,
do you always have composure or do you snap at times? That's my thing. I get really irritable, and my irritability turns me into a child, where I start just, yeah, yeah, I just lose it. And if anybody's staring at me and I'm like, oh man, if anyone stared at me at those 5-10 minutes, I just know I'd be so ashamed. And I know people would look at me and be like, what are you, 5 years old? Grow up. Okay, enough about me. How is your
so
emotions?
um, lately I've been coming down and going to the hospital, so that's weird. And I've been coming down with a schizoid kind of take on some things, and so I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks. Um, Mentally, MS has it it causes major issues for me when I can't type on a screen, even though that's like a minimal experience. But when I can't type on a screen, I get really flustered.
I can imagine.
So
Yeah, I'm sure that's a big part of what you do, and to have that interrupted or disrupted, it's got to be nerve wracking.
yeah,
And I understand what you're saying because it messes with your mentality. Again, I appear 90% composed at all times.
yeah.
um, but there's a lot of times when I feel like I'm looking at the world and I'm looking through another person's screen.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't feel like it's me looking. I feel like I'm looking at me looking. That makes no sense to anybody. But
Holy smokes.
what's that?
Holy smokes.
Yeah, yeah. It
Mm.
and I know it's the MS. I have to tell myself often that my brain is lying to me because it's not wired right. Um,
Oh,
and it can alter your perception. At least it does to me.
My neurologist told me that your brain has some shrinkage from all the lesions.
Mm-hmm.
So I start to think like, am I acting different than I was 15 years ago? Would someone 20 years ago look at me and be like, oh, Terry is slower than he used to be? Like, what's different? Because the shrinking is happening. Just curious. So,
I feel my dyslexia, which I don't have. I don't have a dyslexia diagnosis, but I feel like I have dyslexic tendencies where letters and colors get flipped around because of the MS. Never happened before.
Do you have any color blindness,
Nope.
Mark? None, eh? Okay. I thought with MS, color blindness was
Well, with neuritis, it could happen. Sure.
Okay.
But even with the severity of my neuritis, it doesn't. I can still see. The running joke is I have 20/20 vision. I just can't see it.
I don't get it. Hey, did you ever have lumbar support? Lumbar support. Lumbar puncture? The spinal tap?
I haven't yet.
No, I'm talking about the CD. Have you ever owned spine? No, I'm just joking. You haven't had spinal tap? No. I haven't either. And Nick, you have, right?
I have, but it was used as part of the diagnosis. So I feel like if you have the diagnosis, you don't need it anymore. I think they can just skip it, especially if you're the kind of person who has a spinal history, such as Mark. They probably weren't going to need to look in there and see what's going on because they're already looking. But it's kind of weird to me that they're not going to check your spine for lesions at your upcoming MRI. That's kind of interesting.
Well, as far as I know, it's just for the head.
Okay.
And I was having brain lesions coming up, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
But I'm getting to the point now where I can only walk like 2 blocks, and then I start like walking like I'm drunk.
I know that well.
Yeah, it's the hardest thing.
You have friends around you or people that know you around that know you have MS? Or are you still trying to hide it? Not trying
I'm
to
not
hide it,
trying to
but
hide it. I just haven't seen them lately.
okay. All right.
So
Yeah,
it's not like anyone's seen it yet.
Yeah, we talk a lot about how technology has actually helped us because we don't have to go physically as many places as we used to.
Oh, yeah.
But you could still stay in touch with people, so that's kind of nice. But I understand the physical connection. There's people that I haven't talked to since the diagnosis because I don't know if they'd understand it, how I look and how I walk. And that's just me putting it on them, not the other way around. That's my own stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, every morning I walk like a newborn baby deer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I never thought of baby deer. I always thought of a toddler. You know how a toddler walks with their arms out? Like,
Oh yeah, I'm cruising, holding on to the chair, then the rail, then the thing. Like I gotta hold on to something at all times.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a walker or anything?
Yes, I have a cane, I have crutches, I have a walker, I have a wheelchair, I have it all.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yep. I use what I need to when I need to.
Yeah.
Why don't you use a walker in public, Mark?
I don't have one.
Oh, that's why. Okay. All right.
Otherwise, I would. If I start walking like I'm drunk, I need to hold on to something.
And you would have no problems using a walker in public?
Not really, because I only go a few places lately.
No, man, that's my problem. That's my ego that smacks me down. When I talk to Nick, I'm like, man, you're so ahead of the game, bro. You look like a cool guy who uses crutches and a walker, for
Believe me, it took me going through a whole bunch of dark mental places to finally come to this space where I was like, you know what? You didn't wake up me. You don't get to decide what I do, what I use, what I dress. If you wake up me, you can make those decisions. But until then, this is how I walk. This is how I work. And I just left it at that. It's not ego in a sense that I'm better than everyone. It's ego in a sense that I have so much going on, and so do we all, that I don't have time to care about what other people are thinking. I got to get somewhere. I got to do something. Yeah. Even if it's, I would say down the street to Tim Hortons, but I have no idea what they are. I just see the coffee cup that Terry brings.
I literally Tim Hortons a block away from me, so that's where I go and rest.
Nice. So then again, it would be the same for you. It would be if you're using the walker, it's like who cares what anybody thinks? I want to go to Tim Hortons. This is how I got to get there. You know what I mean? That would be that mentality.
A thing I'm gonna find with public transit, sitting in a
Mhm.
handicap stall or space. Oh, but I'll do it. I need to do it. And that's why I'm there.
Yep.
I don't look like I need it, but that doesn't matter.
Nope. Not at all. And how old are you?
I'm 34.
Yeah. See, I was 33 when I got diagnosed, and it was the same thing. I had the handicap spot, I had the cane, I had the whole, and it was like a huge ego check. But once you get past it, it's, it's easy. So hang in there, man. As mentally, just it gets easier once you come to grips with the fact that this is how you roll. It's fine. You'll start seeing the people that do it also. You'll start seeing like Terry and me and all these other people out there doing it. And you'll go, oh, okay. I'm not the only one.
But dude, I feel sorry for, you know, you too, because you're a part-time wheelchair user, and Mark, because he stands, but he has issues after walking 2 blocks. Like now I'm in a chair. I feel like I don't have to hide anything. But when I was walking, people thought I had no issues, or oh, he must be drunk. I was just always hiding stuff. I don't know. It's just so much easier now in a chair. I've always used this before. Like when I'm talking to someone, when I was standing, I wasn't focused on their conversation with the person. I was focused on my legs. I was focused on the fact that I had to use the washroom soon. I was focused on I was getting tired. So my quality of living was garbage. Now in a
Yep.
chair, I'm smiles.
Mark, what is your driving force? Like what gets you motivated in any given day? I mean, it's not to wake up and be in pain and to think about your MS.
Um, Currently it's a girl, to be
What
honest.
what better reason? That's
Yeah,
great.
no, I met her a long time ago and we've been friends for a long time, but she's recently single, so I should get my butt up to Edmonton, which is a few hours away.
Oh,
Um, she's definitely a good driving force, but beside that, lately, not a whole lot has been getting me out of bed. I keep playing games,
right.
so video games are always around. Oh
Online, online stuff or
yeah,
just yeah, okay. I can't tell you the last time I played a video game that wasn't 8-bit and single player. So,
holy smokes. Okay,
like literally 5 hours ago, I was playing Dr. Mario just because it's my favorite.
nice. I'm a huge Tetris fan, so I get it.
Well, speaking of Tetris, I just read a pretty interesting article. Uh, Columbia University did a research study that showed that if a person plays Tetris for more than 20 minutes after a traumatic event, they're like 65% less likely to have PTSD from that event.
Holy shit.
So like all you got to do is play Tetris and it does something to your brain that soothes it out.
Wow.
So who knew? Weed and
That's so
Tetris
cool.
were the way to go.
Yeah. No, totally.
I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. So when someone gets frustrated, I just say, "Hey man, go play some Tetris."
So yeah, if it's a traumatic experience, just fire up the old Tetris.
Hey Mark, how about we just download Tetris on PlayStation? Can we?
Yeah,
Is there Tetris
totally.
on? Well, you're not a PlayStation user. You're
Get it on PC.
PC. Even though I
Yeah,
know
better
PCs
than
are.
you,
Yeah, I
Terry.
know, but I don't know. PC users are just, like, I built my PC from scratch. It's better. I don't know. I'm
You're
gonna get
triggering an
haters.
entire
I'm gonna
community of
get
people.
haters right now. Yes, I am.
Because listen, I can't build a computer from scratch.
I can't either.
I can.
Yeah. The only way I can build a computer is by bringing out the old debit card and swiping it. Nice. The Tetris theme. Now we're gonna hit with copyright all of a sudden.
no, no, we're getting sponsored by Tetris.
We could do that.
Do they
I'd be
exist?
okay with that.
Do you guys remember the Game Boy? Okay, enough for that. Do you have family that understand what you go through? And I don't,
My
in
mom,
case they're gonna be listening to this, I don't want you to call out anyone, but
no, I'm not going to show anyone. My mom is an ex-nurse, so she
okay.
just retired like this year, right after COVID happened.
Mm,
And my aunt worked with people who have Alzheimer's, so they both deeply understand where I'm coming from.
that's good.
So when I had to like tell them, "Oh, I'm having these issues," and "Oh, the doctor says this," then she didn't really let me finish because she already knew. So
Yeah, that's the burden of knowledge.
the
It's just
burden of having a nurse as a mother and
Oh, that's right.
I'm sure you couldn't sneeze without it being a level 4 alert.
basically.
Especially with
You
issues going back as far as they have with you, you know.
sorry?
I said especially with the issues going as far back as they have, all the way to the beginning with you. So
Oh yeah. No, my mother's a trooper, that's for sure.
yeah.
You got any brothers or sisters?
Nope, just me.
Or sorry, siblings?
My dad thought I had siblings, but my mom and dad aren't together. So
Oh, okay, okay. Life.
this was a major thing for my mom, even though she is definitely a trooper. She would be really upset about the fact that I'm going to go have a spine surgery.
Mm,
Um, the experience of having to learn to walk in front of your mother is really weird, where the nurse helps you stand up and walks you around a little bit until you can finally use your legs again. That was an experience. Um, yeah,
that'd be
no, the only thing, sorry,
no, I was gonna say that'd be terrifying. Be like waking up being like, I gotta walk. I gotta learn to walk again. Like,
they
geez.
don't warn you either. You
Yeah.
just, you, they're just helping you out.
Wow.
Yep.
See, that's the point that I touch on a lot with the people that we speak with is I don't feel like we give ourselves enough credit for the things that we do to get back to where most people just are.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of both physical and mental energy to accomplish learning to walk again. Most people don't ever have to do that.
Nope.
So they don't understand, first of all, the mentality you get into when you acknowledge that you can't do it, but then you have to switch and get into the I'm going to fight it and go and do it. And then what it takes to accomplish, it's a lot. It's
When did you do the surgery? Like how long ago?
When I was 18, I'm 34 now.
Okay.
So it was
Uh,
in like 2008 or so.
do you feel when it rains or when it's about to rain? Do you have
Yep.
those triggers? Okay.
I can tell my back just like doesn't get sore per se, but it definitely it's bristly. I don't know.
yeah. Mm.
So, man, you have MS and you have that. Like, people think your MS is the worst of it, you know? Oh, you have MS. Oh, I'm sorry. But you have other issues. Do you set off any metal detectors with
Carry
these
with
rods?
carry with the
You
deep
know,
questions.
these are valid questions, man. I need to know in case I'm ever with you, being a Middle Eastern. Do you set off the metal detectors? Yes? No? Yes? You ignoring me, Mark?
They use titanium, so it doesn't set off
Uh,
alarm.
oh, so you're partially made out of titanium, I see.
That's right.
When I went to the stadium they were like, okay, go through the metal detector in my chair. I was like, okay. And when I went through, it was like dee 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 dee. It went crazy. And then another security is like, what are you guys doing? You're supposed to go from here.
Yeah.
They made me go through the detector, but I had another entrance and I don't know. I thought it was funny.
That's hilarious.
Yes, it's hilarious. Thank you.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you got to be able to laugh at yourself with just the silliness of it all. I mean, it's horrible, yes, and people on the outside wouldn't understand, but you got to laugh at things like that, or half the shit that we laugh at on these other shows, because it'll drown you if you don't keep above water.
Mm-hmm. That's why I love my cat. My cat never shames me. Mark, you have a cat, right?
I have 3 cats.
3.
Ooh.
Cool.
Do they all get along at the same time, or do they fight like cats?
This is older. She's like geriatric, and nobody gets along with her.
Uh,
The other 2, they're starting to get along more and play and stuff, but
Cool.
it was a rough go.
Nick, do you have any pets? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
yes, I have currently. I have 1 dog and 1 cat.
I did ask you this.
You did, because I had 4 pets simultaneously. Oh, and I have fish too.
Do they get along well?
They do, because I had 2 dogs and 2 cats, and then I've lost one of each. So the two remaining get along great, because they're like, oh, I guess it's just us now. They fight like siblings. Well, Mark, and what would you want the public to understand about somebody who lives with what you do?
Um,
Not to put you on the spot, and it's certainly not a test, but if people want to know about Mark, what would you say?
Jeez.
I got one for you.
Um,
You're a bad Dead by Daylight player. I'm sorry. I'm joking. Nobody would get it unless you play PlayStation. Okay.
PC, motherfucker.
Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad.
Throwing shade. See, there's even a hierarchy in our community.
Oh my God.
Is there anything that you think is misunderstood about you?
I think a lot of it gets better. Like, whether it's the issues I have coming from being underdeveloped or the issues I have growing up, just it gets better. You don't need to have the right doctor or anything. And even if you do have the right doctor, you know, you can go with another one and still be okay.
Very true.
I get it. Sorry. I get it. I get what you're trying to say. One more thing. People tell me, wow, you keep moving, you keep going. You're a warrior, you're a trooper. It's like, dude, what other way is there? There's only one way for us to keep going. I know that doesn't make sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Yep. What's the saying? You see it a lot, especially with MS. It's you don't know how strong you are until you have no other choice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a big one.
Perfect way to end it.
I like it. Mark, I want to thank you for hanging out with us today, man. It was very insightful.
Yeah, thanks guys. That was really good.
So, and hopefully I'll see you at groups.
Yeah, I got to make it to the late night group.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, especially the late group. Yep, that's the fun one.
Oh, that's right. After hours with Nick. That's right.
After hours, we just cut loose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thanks for having me, guys.
No problem, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you soon, man. So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4-T-below-zero.com. Or feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. Our personal Instagram account are, for Nix, it's Nix_V713. Or for Terry, it's What's_MS. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk soon.